Oi, oi, day 3, all my bets video, Thursday coming up. Yes, I know I'm doing this Wednesday night. It's a little bit late, but I alluded to this in the first and second day videos that I would be in Cheltenham. I wanted to get this updated because now it will include some multiples that run through for the day. And then I'll get Friday's video out tomorrow at some point, maybe in the middle of racing or something, but just so that it's up and it's out, so you might have a bit more time in there. Just off the bat, really appreciate everyone's support. I mean, I do say this as often as I possibly can because I love having an outlet of horse racing. I've got a passion for it, but it's nice to know that, you know, some people are interested because they do watch it. I know everyone's always going to get a few pelter comments that go out there, and I do get that what I do isn't necessarily for everybody. I do have quite a scattergun type approach, but when it comes to the Cheltenham Festival, we've seen with the results in the first couple of days, you don't definitely know what's going to happen. You can't really take anything for granted. So, yeah, I mean, if you've got a comment to say I'm just tipping every single horse in the race, that isn't my full strategy. But to the people that say nice things, thank you. And to the people that I met at Cheltenham over the last couple of days, really good to see some new faces. I really appreciate the support more than you guys would probably realise, to be honest with you. So without trying to turn into too much of a woman over all of it, just like thanks for being nice, basically. So yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday's been a bit of a bloodbath. I've done okay. Like today, managed to peel out something from a block bet that's paid an okay amount. I will do a review video at the end so you can see what they are. I'll share my profit and loss from my betting account so you can see what it is in there. I'm not going to dwell on that too much in this video, but as much as the results have been brutal for today, the Thursday horses are also part of some block bets that I've done. So because we've had a couple of horses that have come in that have set some things up, I actually got a bundle of horses for Thursday. So yes, I'm getting ready for people to say, you've just tipped up every horse in every single race. But when I've talked about my stakes and my strategy with this, a lot of you will know I'm very risk adverse and I do like to block bet. I like to try and find opportunities where I can get as much cover as possible because I think we need it. Across today, Wednesday, I've had a couple of winners, but I've had second and third in almost every single race. I mean, the bumper, not so much, but in some of the other races, I've actually had horses that have just come second in all of them. And again, it's fine. I want to say it's variance, but across the 4 days of Cheltenham, it's hard to balance that variance out. We're halfway through the festival, so hopefully Thursday, Friday, I feel like I'm maybe due a little bit of fortune, but it is just the way that it goes. Some years, I might get a little bit lucky and get 3 or 4 winners that another year might not have come in, but you just hope you don't get all the losers at the same time. So yeah, we're definitely not on the ropes, but we've been in a bit of a punching match the last couple of days. I think everyone will feel the same as that as well. So look, again, my strategies aren't necessarily, I'm not doing these videos to say this is what you should do. I'm just showing what I do. But just, I don't know if it's any comfort to anybody out there, but it's been a struggle the first couple of days. And it's hard to take in the fact that you've just got to stay calm and just trust it, that it will all span out and it'll all be okay, because you do the hard work up to now to get yourself in positions, and then it is just into the lap of the gods. So, yeah, I mean, if you've had a rough couple of days, then look, don't beat yourself up too much about it. At the end of the day, it's just punting, isn't it? It's just horse racing. But it's been brutal for not just yourself. It's been brutal for a few people. But anyway, not here to moan or anything like that sort of stuff. I've actually come out of it okayish on those couple of days. Potentially with the positions that I put myself in, I could have actually been in a much better state now. You'd have seen from the horses that I mentioned for the Wednesday video. But look, you didn't tune in for this. You tuned in to hear my Thursday bets, possibly. Maybe you did tune in to see if I've absolutely done my spuds, but we are where we are, right? So like I said, Thursday, lots of horses have moved on. I've got loads of cover and lots of races. I'm just going to tell you everything that's in here anyway, all the returns that I could potentially get back for horses. We've reached a point where with extra bets and trades and stuff like that as well, stakes have gone up a little bit, but what we've got in terms of live stakes going now is, from the multiples, I touched on that, even I had 450 quid on Copic the board going through multiples. We now reached the point where at the end of the week, we've got 256 quid's worth of multiples Thursday. They could be finishing on Thursday, but they might be Thursday, Friday. And about 50 quid's worth of multiples that start Friday, finish Friday. So about 300 quid's worth of multiples left. In terms of singles, and I class them as singles now because they could have been doubles or trebles before that are now left. But we've got about 1,350 quid's worth of stakes for Thursday. And then there's about 800 and something quid for Friday as well. So look, it's in and around £2,500 still to play for of the money that we spun up at the start. I've had some draws back, but as I say, I'll do a review thing after to see if we can. It feels like a year where if I can get out with most of the money back, I'll be pretty happy, but we'll see how we go. Right, the races for Thursday, as I say, the most important bit, 5 minutes into the video, if you wanted to skip, not that you can now, I've just told you after 5 minutes into the video, and right, Mares Novice Hurdles, we kick off. Maureen's going for 400. That was an early bet that I put on. They haven't topped her up after the hurdle debut. Wasn't that impressed with it. Patrick's on board now, so it doesn't look the most positive, but who knows? Could be a nice little dream story for them. Caroline Bamboo got 360. That was another single that I'd struck. Aurora Vega, I get 225 back. That's for some multiples. And 6.5 has been in multiples. Managed, but I put it in quite a few multiples, and I've got fortunate for this horse. I mean, if it wins, in the respect that the ones that I permed this one up with are the ones that have won this week, whereas there's been other ones where I've tried to get cover on and it hasn't quite panned out the same. But 6.5 now going for £970 in the Mayor's Novice. So again, I know people will be like, well, you've just bet everything in the race, haven't you? I haven't done it exactly like that. I've tried to spread some cover. I'd like to think I'm in a good position, but I've been like that in other races too. So we're just going to need some luck, like we do on every single race day. The Jack Richards Novices Handicap Chase, I might look at this and do a tiny bit more work on it, get some more bits in there. But as for what it stands right now, Pick Rock's going for 575, Firefox is going for 550, Asia Masters going for 450. In the Potemps, I do want to get a bet on Doddy the Great. I haven't done that yet. He's about 20s, I think. I'm not sure definitely what he is, but I think he's 20, somewhere around there. But he's the type of horse that I might bet on an exchange to get a bigger price, because a lot of you will know that I am a wind-up hunter in the main, especially for this anti-post stuff, because of the fact that I'm getting the cover. So I haven't bet him yet, but he would be one. Bugai's Seagull I have backed 40s. He's going for 850, so that was just singles, nothing fancy on there, but he's a big price for a reason. Shanna Bob's going for 525. Again, another one that's a big price. Idem, 512.50 back for that horse. Another one that's like reasonably big price. And Jericho de Repene, that was in some perms. That's going for 434. In the Ryanair, I had a bit of a touch with Lossy Mouth in a big double with Ile Francaise. Ile Francaise now going for £640. Factor File's going for 480. Hartwood's going for 425. And Protector at last year's winner, couldn't let him go on back. 337.50 is what he's running for. So again, I've got a reasonable position in a race like that. But we've been like that in a lot of the races Tuesday, Wednesday as well, haven't we? But it is what it is. Right, Stayers Hurdle. So I've got a few in here, and I said it at the start of the season, right? So Lucky Place is the biggest one. He's 857.50. When I talked about Lucky Place at the start of the season, I talked about the fact that he was a horse that looked like an obvious shortener, and it was a race where I feel like I would quite happily take a few darts on horses at the right prices to cover against something like a Tiapu. So I'm on Lucky Place at 25s. Nemean Line, I've got a bit on him at 66 to 1. 837.50 comes back from him, but it's because it's such a big price in the first instance. Langadan got on at 50s like everyone else did, so 605 back from him. Bob Ollinger, 520 back from him, another one that I got on at reasonable prices. Tiapu has got £331 going for him. If he's part of Bet365's boost tomorrow, which they've been doing the Challenger races, I would definitely be having another 40 on him, for all that you'd hope that Jack Kennedy's there, and for all that it might look weak that the Woolpark's come here and he's being supported, and the Aikesons are running Bob Ollinger against him. But you know, I still think Tiapu is a good horse. And then Mystical Power as well. I kind of bought a bit into the Willie Mullins comments. He was 20 to 1 at the time, so I got 315 back from that. Very much one of those bets where you know it's probably going to shorten, so I put them in as, I guess, like a holding bet, but I've got some cover on him. When I talk about lots of these races as well, I did do it for the first couple of days. I told you how much like actual stake I've got going on those races. So just to revert back on those, for the Mayor's Novice, there's 230 quid's worth of like single stakes that are left on there now. Jack Rich is £140, Potemps is £120, Ryanair's £330 worth of money that's rolled through to get myself in those positions. Stayers Hurdle's £186 worth of money. Moving on to the play, I don't think I've got a particularly strong hand in this. We've got 140 quid's worth of bets going into this race. We've got Ginny's Destiny going for 425, Path Daru going for 340, Jaguar going for 337.50, and the Company Sergeant for 300 quid. Looks a hard handicap, but, you know, might get lucky, might not. Don't know how much more cover I'd be looking for in that race. Might leave that one as it is. Into the Kim Muir. We've got £180 worth of stakes that have made it through to this race. Walking on Air is a horse that I got into like a couple of weeks ago, probably. It looked like he was going to start to shorten, but he's going for 665. He's been very well supported since, and I got into him when he was 16s or 18s, I think, but he was just too big a price. Again, I'm not doing this to be Captain Hindsight. I'm just saying where I am. That's not from a fluky multiple. That is a single. I've got Midnight Our Fred because another one that was looked like an obvious shortener. So 495 from him. Johnny Who 450. I can fully admit that I jumped on the bandwagon after he got taken out of the Ultima, and this was the route that he was coming down. Same Majest going for £401.50. I think everyone has the same view that Same Majest looked like the JP horse for this, but Johnny Who going in there, maybe it tempers enthusiasm on him slightly. And then Cletus Pular. Back to that horse because I liked the profile of him for this race. When I did the trends bits, 315 quid. He's going for. Now, I've got a couple of horses, Mint Boy, Yeah Man, and Say Majest, that are part of a place fourfold. The first few legs have come in. So all three of those horses are running for place money. Probably somewhere between £100 and £150 for each horse just for them to finish in the top 5. So I have got an opportunity on there, but they wouldn't be showing up on the win single part for all that I could put the figures in there, or I should. I haven't updated the spreadsheet to pin in the place parts for those particular bets. But anyway, that's where we are for Thursday. So look, I know it's out a bit later. There's not too much time to see this beforehand. But again, massively appreciate your guys' support. It's obviously not easy for these weeks, especially when the results don't go as we're expecting. And by expecting, I mean when loads of favourites are getting beat ultimately. But look, we're halfway through. Race isn't over yet. Got loads of opportunities Thursday, as you can see there. I would say be disappointed. I felt like it today. Very disappointed that I had good positions in most races and didn't necessarily always put it back out. But fingers crossed across the week, that bit of variance will balance itself out. And, who knows, we might get a good day tomorrow. But Friday, I've got a few opportunities. I'll do another video for that tomorrow, get that out. And then, share with you guys where we're at. And then, as I say, I'll do a review video after to let you guys know what the actual profit and loss is for the week. And I'll show you my season's money in there as well. Excuse me. And then there will be links in the description for the tippy stuff for which bookie as well, where you can go in there and see, as much as I've written multiple horses in races, the ones that if you were having a bet right now that I would recommend you doing so on there. I share my profit and loss on Twitter, as it's been from the start of the season through to now. I am losing money tipping on the National Hunt stuff. Again, hopefully there's a bit of variance. We might pin a little bit back round from it, but I'm trying my best on there. Like, I'm not trying to throw duds out there, but that would be a recommendation for people that don't want to look at this and hear about the after timing, but might want to see what I fancy for Thursday and for Friday. So be lucky. Thank you again for all the support. Really appreciate it. And oh my God, we'll see you again tomorrow.